Have you ever noticed how difficult it can be to just state what you want and then just let it sit there? No buts, no nothing. Just, I want a house by the water, or I'm gonna have um, a company that makes millions of dollars, whatever, a year, and then just stop and not add to that sentence. If you're anything like me, it's more likely or how I was in the past anyway. I would like this thing, but it's probably not realistic, or then I would have to win the lottery, or I would love to start this business, but there is too much competition, or I would love a partner, but all the good ones are taken, or whatever. And that is very, very, very common. And we don't even know what we're doing when we're doing it. But there is this thing called the RS, or reticular activating system, that is basically the spam filter for your brain. And this is what determines what gets through, what you notice in the world. Because there is so much information out there. So your brain gets bombarded with millions of different inputs every hour of every day. And of course, that is too much for any brain to handle. So it needs to sort. And that is completely fine, because we need a filtering system. But when we're not aware of this, we unintentionally make it focus on the wrong thing very often. Because this system, or this filter, it focuses on what you have showed is important with your behaviors, your thoughts, your everything. And that can get pretty not so good if you're primarily focusing on all the negative stuff that is happening, because your brain really wants to please you. So it's, if you're adding all these buts, or you're completely focused on all the things that always goes wrong or can go wrong, it's gonna start looking for proof, because it wants you to be right. So it's gonna keep looking for proof that, okay, yes, you are extremely unlucky, this is never gonna happen because this and that, and then you just go off with a million different reasons why this can never happen, and why you are completely right that this can never happen. And you don't even notice the millions of reasons why, of course, it can happen. And this is not so practical if we're not aware of it, because then it can really just sabotage all of your dreams. It's like when you're looking for a new car, and then you have decided on this brand or model and this color, maybe even. And just when you decide, you look around and you just see this car everywhere. Even if it's pink, even if it's really rare, it just shows up everywhere. Like all of the world just conspired to get this car at the same time as you decided to get that. And of course, that's not what happened. It's just because you showed your brain that this is important for me now. So show me all of this. And it can be very, very, very helpful if you know how to prompt your brain, or you know how to tell it what to look for. But the thing that's happening when you say, I want this, but this is why it's probably not going to happen, you give your brain two different instructions at the same time. And of course, that's not going to work, because your brain is a computer, but not that kind of computer. It can't look for proof in complete opposite directions at the same time, because that creates confusion, of course. And what it's going to do is it's going to go in the direction or follow the instruction that has the most emotional charge for you. And that could, so if you have been ingrained since you were a kid about how money is the root of all evil, or rich people are bad or greedy, or healthy relationships doesn't exist because my parents were not very good role models or had a toxic relationship, whatever it could be. A lot of these beliefs we're running around with and we don't know we have comes from early childhood or very early in life. So if you're let's say just my age, 42, and you have learned this about money, for instance, when you were 7, then you have been running around with this belief for 35 years and repeating it unconsciously. So of course, you can say, "No, I want the money. I want I want to make 10 millions a year." You can say that all you want. But repeating this a few times does not erase the 35 years that comes before that where you have unconsciously repeated something else, the opposite. So the brain's gonna look for proof of why rich people are greedy, or why money is the root of all evil, or why it's not possible to have a healthy relationship. And here's where it gets even more kind of interesting or complicated, because it's not just about saying what you want and forgetting about the buts. That is a part of it, but it's not all, of course, because why should stuff be simple? The other part of it is, if you have this subconscious programming, like we all do in some way or another, it's not going to help just to say, "I want 10 million." It's not just magically going to show up if your system has learned your whole life that money for some reason is not safe. Then it's going to reject it. It's going to feel unsafe. So no matter how many times you repeat it, if you don't uncover these subconscious beliefs, it's not going to make a difference. And it's pretty fucking annoying because you didn't sign up. You didn't sign up for this. That was just something you were imprinted with when you were a kid and too little to think any differently. But it's still gonna run the show. And it's just really trying to, it's not trying to make a mess of things, it's actually trying the opposite. And the thing is, it's so easy to just be frustrated when you find out about these things. It's so easy to just judge yourself and think, "I should know better," or if I just, if I just see something, I can change it, and I can just, it's very easy to just, yeah, judge yourself. But there's no need, there's no reason for this. The things, or your system is just trying to protect you with whether whether it's just saying the thing but putting the but in the end, or if it's just gonna show you the opposite proof of what you actually want with your conscious mind. It's trying to protect you. It's, that is the only job it has. So it's really, we should be thankful. We should say, "Thank you, system. Thank you, brain. Thank you for protecting me. I know you're doing the best you can and you're doing a great job, but this is not the way I would prefer to be protected right now. Because of course it can change. You can reprogram your system. You can't teach it. You can't teach it to help you with the thing you actually want to achieve. You just really, yeah. So I'm not saying here just manifest harder, because that is not going to work. Probably not going to work if there is some kind of program running in the background. It's not going to work just to say it more, to just do more affirmation or write a journal about it some more. It's not going to help. Probably, most likely it's not going to help. Or even if it does, because sometimes things does show up even though you have this program running in the background. But the stuff that often happens is, maybe you get the money, but then something happens. You end up sabotaging it for whatever reason, or something happens, so you lose it again, and then you have proof again that no, this is not a possibility for me. But so it is complicated stuff. And it's actually why I stopped when I learned about all of this. When I learned about it, I actually stopped trying to manifest money, for instance, because if you, like me, have a lot of debt, it's not going to help just saying, no, now I want to be rich. Now everything is completely fine and the debt's gone, and I'm just going to make millions. It's not going to help, because at the same time I found out all of these, like, old stories that I had around money. And when you uncover that, it makes so much sense why you end up the place you end up, why you don't have the relationship or the money or the health or the whatever, because there's always something holding you back from getting what it is you say you want. It is because your system perceives it as a threat. It doesn't feel safe because of whatever stories is running in the background. So what you can do, and what I'm doing as well, is first just practice saying the thing you want. I want dot dot dot, period. No buts, no nothing. Just let it sit there. And it's probably gonna feel a bit uncomfortable. I know it does for me, or it did. Less now, but because I have practiced, but it does feel uncomfortable, and it feels too big, and it feels kind of scary, because you want to say the but. You want to say, oh, it's probably not gonna happen because of this, or let's see, or maybe I should be a bit more realistic, or whatever it is. But when you practice, it gets easier, and you learn to just say, this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna have. And the next thing is just start to get curious about what stories you may have picked up in the past, what stories or programs are running the show. What are the stories you have been taught about the thing you want? So if it's about money, I made a lot of examples that are very classic. Also, it could be, if I get successful, then everyone will depend on me, or it's too much responsibility. I have to give up everything because I need to work so hard to make this money. There's so many different versions of this. And the same goes for relationships or health or whatever it is. There's so many stories we have picked up along the way and that are running the show now. So start noticing, start being curious, not to judge, just to notice or become aware of what's actually going on. And when then you start to uncover some of these things, you can always try actively to just turn them around or dismantle them. I have had a lot of, I have done a lot of EFT tapping uh, on these stories I have become aware of, and it has helped so much. And also, of course, journaling, meditating, or just sitting with yourself and asking, what is this? And is this something I actually believe in? Or is it just something I picked up along the way and then didn't question because I was too young to question it? Is it something I actually believe? Or can I see a lot of proof out in the world that this is not the case? And then over time, it gets better and it's going to feel more safe to receive the thing you want or to achieve the thing you want. So you're not sabotaging yourself. You're not trying to call it in with one hand and then sabotaging with another because it doesn't feel safe. No, now you can like just call it in and be coherent in everything you say and do and want. And it makes it so much more simple for your system and just everything. So I'm very curious to hear about some of your old stories and also to see just if there's any of this you have thought about or knew or any kind of thing you would like to say. I would love to hear. And I hope that this was useful in some way. And thank you very much for listening. And I hope you will stick around and see you next time. Take care. Bye.